Join Kids Hut family. Tia, today Jim and I had a fight. Oh, that's bad. What happened? I thought Jim is your friend. He was, but today he did not support me on the poster competition concept I wanted to present to my teacher. He thought that it might be too easy. He is my friend. He should have agreed with me instead of behaving like Tom and Ben, who are always mean. Was he right? Yes, he was. The idea was too easy, but still, he should have agreed with what I was saying. Oh, Emperor Tofu, that is very bad. Why are you calling me Emperor? Because you are behaving like this emperor from my story. Once upon a time, there lived an emperor. He was not particularly smart or intelligent, but because he was the emperor, people feared him and always agreed with whatever he said. They used flattery to avoid his wrath and win his trust.
Your Majesty, as always, you are right. Your Majesty, you have made the wisest decision possible.
Because the emperor was so foolish, he never understood the difference between an honest compliment and flattery. He thought that his public loved him and that he was the best. He lived in his ego and vanity. One day, his head minister, who was truly a wise man, disagreed with him in open court.
Your Majesty, it is my humble suggestion that you hear the public's troubles before increasing the tax burden further. Doing so will make you a more beloved king.
What are you saying, head minister? Do you mean that our wise king is not good enough? The foolish king, who was blinded by all the flattery and not used to people disagreeing with him, also agreed.
Yes, head minister. How dare you doubt my decision? As a punishment, I remove you from the position of head minister.
Disgraced by the events of the day, the head minister went home sad. When he reached home, he saw that his nephew, who was a tailor, had come to visit him from another town. Just like his uncle, the nephew was a wise man. The head minister told him what had happened in court.
Don't worry, uncle. One day, emperor's vanity shall crash.
The next day, the nephew went to see the king. He pretended to hold a piece of garment in his hand and said to the emperor,
Your Majesty, I have just returned from my travels around the world. When I was in Old Market of Persia, I saw this beautiful piece of cloth and immediately thought of you. I have brought it with me to make a new robe for you. It is the most beautiful cloth ever made.
The emperor could not see the cloth, but his ego did not allow him to confess it. He looked at the remaining ministers and asked them what they think of the cloth. The ministers couldn't see the cloth either, but decided to lie to the emperor again.
It is very beautiful, sir. Yes, I agree. It will look fantastic on you.
Though the king could not see the cloth, he thought that since his ministers thought that it would look very nice on him, he would go ahead and order for it.
Yes, it is beautiful indeed. Go ahead, tailor. Make the most beautiful robe that you have ever made. I will wear it for my birthday parade, which is 10 days from now. Yes, Your Majesty. You will have it on your birthday.
And so the fateful day came. It was the emperor's birthday. The tailor went to the palace early morning, pretending to hold a robe in his hand. Throughout, he behaved like he was carrying something beautiful and delicate.
Here is your robe. Since it is a delicate material, it is best not to wear anything under it.
The emperor agreed and took off his underclothes. The nephew went on to pretend as if he was helping the emperor wear the robe. Just then, the king's two favorite ministers came into his chambers. They were shocked to see the emperor stand like that without any clothes on.
How does my robe look, ministers? You look so handsome, Your Majesty. Majesty, you are looking very nice.
Still unable to see the robe himself, the king believed what his ministers had told him and ordered the parade to start. The whole kingdom had gathered for the emperor's birthday and had lined up on the streets to see his new robe. But just as the king appeared in public without any clothes on, the crowd fell silent. Everybody was wondering what had happened to the emperor, but no one dared to say a thing. They just stared at him as he made a complete fool of himself. Till one small child called out to his mother, "Look, Mom, the emperor is not wearing any clothes." No longer able to contain itself, the entire crowd burst into peals of laughter. They held their stomach and pointed at the emperor as they made fun of him. The emperor looked at the guilty faces of his ministers. And sad face of his head minister, who was upset to see the king being made fun of. The emperor emperor understood how foolish he had been and what his mistake had been. He fired the two ministers and reinstated the head minister. From then on, when anyone gave him a compliment, he humbly listened to it and absorbed it only if it was genuine. With the honest guidance of his head minister, he went on to become a truly great emperor for his people. Ouch, Tia! I think I had become the egoistic emperor. I owe an apology to my friend Jim. What do you think? Yes, and you also need to learn to accept feedback and not get carried away by compliments. Yes, Tia, but I must wish you good night for now. Good night, Tofu. For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hut family. Subscribe here.